And we are back with more News Talk Saga 960. Mark Petrone with you. Glad to have you on the Mark Petrone Show. Well, another big scoop for Project Veritas, and this time the target was none other than Twitter itself. They got right into the good. They got the goods this time. They got an executive with Twitter talking about how censorship is really for the good of the planet, talking about how censoring certain people, granting free speech to others is all for the broader good. And this guy sounds so arrogant, so narcissistic, a complete egomaniac. I can't wait for Elon Musk to take over Twitter, if in fact he ends up doing it, and firing his ass ASAP. This guy looks terrible, but I think it speaks volumes about the culture of Twitter right now. I mean, these people think it's their right to censor people. You know, they're somehow the people to decide. They're up here, you're down there, you're a mere serf. They'll decide whether you get to speak or not. They'll get to decide who gets free speech, who doesn't. That's why it's such a pleasure to bring on Daniel Boardman from the National Telegraph to talk about this issue. Daniel, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on. I assume Twitter executives will not be fans of this little snippet going out there.
Hey, listen, if we get pulled off, we get pulled off. But I was tweeting about it earlier. I've been ghost banned for years. So
yes, Andy Lee put us all up to this. I love communism. I love censorship, but Andy Lee's making me say reasonable things.
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, Andy has been deplatformed, but God love her. She gets right back in there and gets another, 30,000 followers just like that. People love her. Although I understand she's taken a break for a couple of days. But let's talk a little bit about what happened here. And this is great because Elon Musk actually commented on this.
Well, right now we don't make profit.
Let's watch this. Okay, once again, this is Project Veritas getting one of the executives to talk a little bit about what is really going on behind the scenes in terms of censorship. This tweet by Benny Johnson, Twitter executive calling Elon Musk mentally handicapped. I mean, specifically, he's referring to Asperger's. Isn't that what Greta has? I mean, I believe that's what she suffers from. But anyway, saying that he has Asperger's, and this Twitter executive goes on to say that Twitter is not here to give people free speech. Let's listen to this and break down exactly what he says. I want to get your take on it, Daniel.
Well, right now we don't make profit, so it's going to say ideology, which is what's led us to not being profitable.
The rest of us who have been here believe in something that's good for the planet and not just to give people free speech.
Give people free speech. But off the top of that, he said something interesting, which has the ring of truth about it. We're not profitable, which is true. Twitter is not profitable. Let's listen again.
Well, right now we don't make profit.
Right now, we don't make profit.
So it's going to say ideology, which is what's led us to not being profitable.
So he admits here that it's their ideology that is preventing them from making money, Daniel. That's probably true. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I do love the fact that he has enough introspection to figure out what the problem is. So he cracked the code that doing all this stuff. Now, it's kind of the great sort of, like, we could say either the irony or the lies here is the reason why there's so much censorship on Twitter, as they give the reason it's YouTube and Twitter. It's, well, if we don't do this, if we allow Daniel Boardman to go out and say things like, there's two genders, well, this hate speech means Coca-Cola won't want to advertise us. So in order to make money, we have to censor because there's just some really bad ideas out there and advertisers don't want to be associated with it, right? And this is them sort of, I guess, saying the quiet part aloud, which is like, we realize that by attacking half the world and half the world's ideology, that, we actually are losing money because we are driving users away. We are, shadow banning and depressing people. It's not a great way to make money. Like, Facebook was making a lot more money when they kind of just let it be what it was. And they just let people put information out there and look at their friends' stuff. But once they got obsessed with this, like, whole, you caused Donald Trump stuff, right? They started censoring and depressing their own reach of their own pages. So, right, if you're an advertiser, you want to advertise, you'd pay more money to, like, let's say, if my Facebook page reached 10 million people a week, right? That's more valuable than, oh no, he's saying crazy things, so let's tamp it down. I'm reaching 1 million a week. Well, like, I'm more valuable at 10 million. I get more money for the advertising. Facebook gets more money for the advertising. Same principle for Twitter. So it's amazing that they've sort of said the quiet part out loud now, which is, no, the censorship is not making you money. It's
but they don't mind. I'm getting the impression that he doesn't mind not making money. Like, to these people, I think money is like, well, who cares? We're in it for the ideology, and it takes me right back to Netflix. And what Elon Musk said, and rightfully, about Netflix when their stock got cut by half, not making money. Now they're forced to lay people off. Musk said, this is a product of the wokeification of these content providers. These people are so obsessed with being woke that their content sucks. Nobody wants to watch this stuff. I certainly don't. And they're losing money. They're losing subscribers. And the people inside these organizations don't care, because to them, it's all about theology. These are like zealots. These are Marxist zealots obsessed with putting out propaganda. And so all of a sudden, some of the executives, the top executives at Netflix, say, look, you know what? If you're that obsessed with content, like what happened with Dave Chappelle, for instance, and all the reaction against his special, The Closer, they say, well, you know what? Maybe this isn't the place for you if you are so obsessed with being woke that you don't even care whether we make a profit or not. Maybe this isn't the place for you. And so I suspect that the Twitter is the same, that there are so many people there who don't care about making money. They just want to put out propaganda. They want to censor people whose views they don't agree with. And guess what? The profit goes out the window. And that's when you end up with people like Elon Musk first saying he wanted to buy it, making an offer, and then realizing, wait a minute, you've got an awful lot of fake accounts there, and you're not making any money anyway. So do I really want to pay $44 billion? Let's listen a little bit more to what this guy had to say.
The rest of us who have been here believe in something that's good for the planet and not just to give people free speech.
Okay. It's about what's good for the planet, not just to give people free speech. So you see, it's up to him, and it's up to a handful of people and censors at Twitter.
Yeah, it's interesting phrase, like good for the planet. It's very revealing of sort of the left, sort of, I'm good for the and it's very also revealing of what he thinks is good for the planet. Like, this is a guy who is perfectly fine with the Ayatollah Khomeini being on Twitter, talking about
the Taliban,
killing Muslims, talking about killing Jews, trying to, he's currently committing a genocide against the Baha'i population. This is all fine. Dictators murdering. I mean, to the woke, brown lives and black lives don't matter unless white people are involved, right? So they can all kill each other, and it doesn't really matter to them. But, what's really good for the planet is, we need to protect Pfizer's interests, and we need to make sure that you can never criticize the integrity of the 2020 election, but the 2016 election, say whatever you want, because it's not about America's electoral integrity. It's about
who got elected.
It's about protecting
Biden
and Hillary. Yeah. So it's a very revealing statement. And, the other thing is, like, is he saying anything we didn't think that a Twitter executive already thought?
Yeah, no, he's saying it out loud. What about this idea of giving people free speech? In other words, you don't have free speech. It's up to people at Twitter or Facebook or Google to give it to you. We'll decide who gets free speech. You get so-called free speech if you're saying what we want you to say. You, on the other hand, Daniel Boardman, Mark Petroni, you don't get your so-called free speech. We'll censor you because we don't like what you're saying. So it's up to us. We're the arbiters of who gets free speech and who doesn't. This is the height of arrogance.
I think he goes on to clarify what he means there, and it doesn't get much better as I think he makes it pretty clear that it's not about free speech; it's about the right things being out there.
Yeah.
All right, let's listen some more.
Because again, like, these people really do believe in what we're doing. These are the policies we've put in place for misinformation.
Whoa. Okay.
Because again, like, these people really.
Okay, these people, Twitter employees, really do believe in what we're doing. I have no doubt about that.
Do believe in what we're doing. These are the policies we've put in place for misinformation or mislabeling media or whatever.
Now, these are the people that decided that the New York Post story about Hunter Biden and his laptop was disinformation in the midst of the 2020 election.
Well, I believe they didn't decide it was disinformation. A different party decided it was disinformation. Twitter took it down because they said it violated their principles of hacked information. So Twitter didn't say it was disinformation. Twitter said it was hacked, even though Hunter Biden just left his laptop at a repair shop. The guy tried to get it back to him. He ghosted the guy who had it. And then I guess he found it with all this crazy stuff on it. And then someone got their hands on it. So it didn't actually violate their policy on hacked information. But they claimed it did. And that's why they took it off. And then
it was the New York Times that decided it wasn't.
The New York Times decided it was disinformation.
And then the Washington Post and all the rest of them. Yeah. They weren't going to follow up that story. And obviously they didn't want Twitter allowing that story to be shared, because then the more people found out about the story, then they would be asking, hey, how come the New York Times hasn't covered it? Here it is in the Post. So, they want to be the arbiters, again, of what constitutes misinformation versus information. And guess what? Whatever is woke, whatever is pro-Democratic Party is going to be information. Anything that a Republican happens to say, or a conservative, well, that's going to qualify as disinformation, and they're going to make the call. And by the way, they're all in. So we have strong indication that they're quite the collection of Marxists over there at Twitter. I mean, if Elon Musk does end up with Twitter, he's going to do a lot of house cleaning. He's going to have to. Let's listen to some more of what he says.
Yeah. Why do you think this should be taken down?
Why do you think this should be taken down? These are the questions they're going to ask him, Elon Musk.
Yeah. Like, those are the questions they're going to ask him. Yeah. It's going to be hard for him to be like, oh, because people should make their own decision. It's like,
it's like, we can't have people making their own decisions, Daniel. I mean, that's outrageous. We have to decide what people think. So the idea that they're going to make their own decisions and express their own opinions on a platform like Twitter, that's outrageous. The guy laughs it off. I mean, come on. You want to listen to this? Let's listen to some more of this.
Like, no, but people don't know how to make a rational decision if you don't put out correct.
Okay, but people
you should let him finish that sentence, because this is the craziest part.
Okay, I'm just reading it here. But people don't know how to make rational decision if you don't put out correct things that are supposed to be out in public.
Things that are supposed to be out in public.
All right, why don't you weigh in on that one?
That's the smoking gun
in the middle of the plate.
Because this is the ideology of the left summed up. Is you saw, to preface it, he's totally dismissive of the thought of free will, people making decisions in themselves. It shows how little upper middle class liberals think of everyone else in society. They're not capable of making their own decisions. They're not smart like me. So it's a great self-indictment, because it's not like he's like, oh, I believe in the truth, because he doesn't even claim that what he's saying is true. He just knows that his beliefs in his own mind are the good beliefs. So, it might not be true that there are 87 different genders, or that we need neo-pronouns to blah, 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 blah. But these are the good things to believe. If we believe this, if we believe, a fourth-year sociology class and everything it tells you, the world becomes a better place. And these stupid carpenters don't understand that calling someone cake self, literally an actual gender now, is people identify as cake. If people, stupid electricians and stupid construction workers, don't believe that people are cake because they're stupid, well, we'll just make them and provide the correct thing, because they're not capable of understanding that sometimes people identify as a cat or as a muffin. And this sounds insane, but literally there are genders where people identify as cats and baked goods. And this is a thing that is, not considered disinformation by the disinformation czars. Yet he illuminates, he understands, I know this isn't actually true. Like, there's no legitimate fact check I could do to prove that people are cake, but you just need people like us at the top to make sure that these ideas are promulgated through society, because without manipulation, we would never have a world in which children learn that sometimes people are muffins.
Yeah. I mean, Daniel Boardman joining us on Saga 960 on the Mark Petronis show.
Who
Yeah, this
identifies
guy
as a
says-
blueberry muffin.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to believe that, that a man can get pregnant and then have an abortion, I mean, where is that in Gray's Anatomy? Where is that in the health books or whatever? Where's the science behind that? There is none. But it says, it says people don't know, this executive, people don't know how to make a rational decision, Daniel, if you don't put out the correct things that are supposed to be out in the public. So this is about brainwashing.
Yeah.
They understand that their platform is about brainwashing. It's about indoctrination. It's about making people think a certain way. And if anybody gets to say whatever they want and everybody's treated the same, we don't censor this group or that group, well, they're not going to be rational in their decision making. That's what this guy is essentially saying. Let's listen to some more of this.
Things that are supposed to be out in the public. As an advertiser, as my business is what I do every day, and why I go out is like, we want it to be as fair and transparent and accurate as possible.
So he's a zealot himself.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy, he's not only saying people have to be indoctrinated, but he is all in. I mean, there's nothing in his head that says he might be wrong or that he should be open to other views. No, he is so locked in to this woke ideology that there is nothing else out there that should even have a platform. Let's listen some more.
Yeah, and if that means there's a level of censorship to make it correct, quote unquote, again, and what does correct mean? I guess like it just kind of goes into the idea of like, well, what is correct?
Okay, so now it gets even more confusing because he's almost backpedaling a little bit. He's saying, well, what's correct, quote unquote correct? What's correct?
He's so close to understanding the other side of the argument that
he's almost there, isn't he? He's like,
it's like,
well,
who
correct.
becomes the arbiter
whatever
of
we
truth?
say it is.
Right? He might have had a moment there like, oh, wait, if Elon buys this and then he gets to decide what's true, that would be a problem. So maybe letting people speak and decide for themselves might be better, because this is like the old adage, like, don't give, Stephen Harper any power you don't want Justin Trudeau to have. Or for Americans, don't give Barack Obama any power you don't want Donald Trump to have or Joe Biden. It's the same principle, and reverse it. And he came he doesn't, spoiler alert for anyone looking to the end of this movie, he does not come to any sort of epiphany.
No.
He almost did. That's as close as you're going to get to it. But he's so close to this epiphany that, oh, wait, if Elon Musk becomes my boss and Elon Musk gets to decide what's true, then we might have a problem if the shoe goes on the other foot here.
Yeah, it's like these people who say my truth. He gave his truth. I mean, the truth is the truth, isn't it?
No, my truth is I'm the king
well,
of
this
Canada.
is my truth, and that's your truth, and that's your truth over there, and somehow everybody's got their own truth.
Like, you can believe that I'm the Prime Minister of Canada.
There's the truth somewhere. This person said this. Well, maybe depends on who you ask. Let's listen.
My truth is that I'm Prime Minister of Canada right now, and no one ever has to pay taxes. So taxes are canceled.
You know what? That's my truth too. Okay, I'm going to refer to you as Prime Minister the rest of the interview. Let's listen.
SNC Lavalin, their last contract is to build a prison to put the Liberal Party in. That's the last thing.
That would be a sole source contract that I could get behind. Let's listen to more of this.
Influencing all these rules that there's, and Elon wants to dismantle.
All right, we're implementing these rules that they are in, and Elon wants to dismantle them. Then technically, our technology has led us to not making money because we're not making money? Huh?
Until them, then technically our ideology has led us to not making money because we're not making money.
So he admits it. Like that's what he said at the beginning of the video clip, is that we're not making money, we're not profitable, and our ideology is getting in the way of making money. So there is an acknowledgement there once again that they're not profitable because of what they are doing, because of their ideology and what they're and putting that ideology into this tyrannical mode of operating their business, which is to censor voices that they don't like.
Yep. I mean, that's exactly what they're doing, exactly what they're saying. And, this is all, and this is why they like, it's important. I think we talked about it maybe before at the beginning. Project Veritas has been removed from Twitter because of this, right? So they didn't violate any of the rules. They've never, it's raw video footage, so it's not like you can really dispute any of this. But, when things question the narrative or embarrass them, they just get rid of it. And this is that. They never thought there would be someone rich enough and motivated enough to say, okay, screw you guys. I'm taking this over now and I'm going to fix it.
Let's listen to some more where he goes after Elon.
And Elon wants to turn it the other way so that we can make
Okay, Elon wants to turn it the other way so that we can make money.
There's a statement they need all 7,000 people to say. And so they can't tell us that the real truth. He has Asperger's.
Okay. All right, so he has Asperger's, and here's Elon's response. Twitter exec trashing free speech and mocking people with Asperger's. I mean, that's not very woke, is attacking people who have this disability. I mean, Greta Thunberg has it. Other people do. Wow. Let me ask you, is that what gets this guy fired, or is it the whole thing?
I think it's the whole. I think what gets him fired is he spilt the beans, but the Asperger's will be the cover of he's racist. He's a right-wing racist, so he's got fired for Asperger's. Now, this should be the moment that red pills this guy, and let's be fair to him, because at the very end, you see he thinks he's on a date with another guy, and he's just kind of showing off and trying to be funny and a bit edgy. Maybe, radical leftists listening to this and Twitter execs, this is what people are in real life. They crack jokes when they're home alone, with other people. I don't think this is particularly that harmful. I think Greta Thunberg will be fine. Elon Musk will be fine. When we are, out with our friends or on a date, sometimes we say things to make other people laugh. And it doesn't mean we hate any particular group of people. But sometimes people just say things, and it's just people saying things, and, get on with your life. But, where this guy deserves to kind of be fired is he's made it a career to ruin people for specific moments like this. But this kind of shows that even the people who are, as you see, ideological zealots, who believes that when one wrong comment is indicative of, your affinity towards Adolf Hitler, it shows that this is just generally how human beings are.
All right. So
get a drink and
are you saying? I mean, I'm hearing you say this. You're saying that in a way he deserves a pass for this, or do you think that that's their excuse? That's what they're going to say in order to give this guy a pass, which is, look, he's out, as you say, he's out for drinks. People talk crap all the time over adult beverages.
Listen, in a different context, if this is a different employee, at a thing, gets filmed on a date with a few drinks saying something that isn't that bad, I'd stand by him. However, this man has made it a mission to destroy people for the same thing. So for me, I would fire him for the hypocrisy. But again, so I'm not gonna pretend oh, this guy really hates people with Asperger's and whatever this thing. It's I can get in and say listen, this guy's just trying to be funny in a moment. He doesn't like Elon Musk, so he makes fun of everyone with Asperger's, and he says he's literally special needs, and he says that. Now, I can have
the idea that one of the richest men in the world is
it's
somehow
he made fun of Elon Musk.
Special needs.
Elon Musk is a big boy. He can handle it,
I
but
think so.
He's made a career, and his ideology is literally built off of if someone says something like this, even if they have 2-3 drinks on a date, they're a bad person. So look, well, by your own logic, you're a bad person.
Yeah, if this guy was a Tesla worker, he'd be out on his butt. Let's listen to some more of this with the time we have left.
Yeah, I know that.
So he's special. Your special needs. You're literally special needs. So I can't even take what you're saying seriously. Targeting of tweet.
Okay, so nothing that Elon says can be taken seriously. Fine.
Wait.
You can read it.
Let me see. And how to protect yourself. groups like Project Veritas are active right now.
Veritas.
I love how he gets
Is that?
great move.
It's like some group that's trying to just out the employees. Like they're trying to go on dates with them like this.
Oh my
and
gosh, this is
record them
beautiful.
and then go sell it to the New York Times and say this is what the Twitter.
Sell it to the New York Times. Yeah, I don't think the New York Times is going to be running this.
Like to say, this is what's really happening. This is what they're telling us to not do. You're lucky that you met me organically because I would be questioning everything about you.
Ah, that is priceless, man. So,
I mean,
That
yeah,
is
this guy got
priceless.
thoroughly embarrassed. He kind of deserves it for doing this to other people. For his ideology is trash, and there he is, and he got screwed over. And all heads up, great props to the Project Veritas guy for being like, "What's this Project Veritas? What is that?" It's like this group that sells things to the New York Times. And you pointed out, like, yes, the New York Times, the classic right-wing troll New York Times, who endlessly works to expose big tech censorship and is pro-free speech. So, yeah, I mean, you can take one of two things. Is like a couple things can be true. Is like, yeah, this guy was probably just trying to impress a date and a guy he liked, and was talking about his job and said all these things. And I assume the date pretended to be a left-winger as well. Or you could say, like, listen, this guy's a rank hypocrite and he just got exposed. So, both things can be true at once. But it also shows, the more important thing is it shows this is what goes on in Twitter. And this is not the first time Twitter has been exposed. It's not the last time. There was another video from Project Veritas this week where they found an engineer who said, yeah, basically everyone at Twitter is like, they're commie as F. And like they all tried to rebel when Elon Musk bought it. Like they don't have capitalist sentiment in them. And it's kind of, it's weird, like this San Francisco ideology of like, you need to be making money. Like this guy's openly scornful of a company making money. But if Twitter doesn't make money, you're all out of jobs.
yeah, well, it's like, what is it? Where's what's with this cognitive dissonance? Like they don't really understand that they're done anyway if they don't turn this thing around. And what do you think the future of the purchase of Twitter is now? It's really up in the air because of all these bots. I mean, you even look at Biden's 22 million followers, and 49% of them are fake. Trump has come out and said there's no way that Elon Musk buys Twitter, considering that there's so much of it that is fake. So many of the accounts are fake. Do you think that this deal is going to go through or not?
I think Elon Musk will own Twitter in a year, if I had to put money on it. What I think is happening now is I think Elon Musk is exposing some fake numbers. So the offer he put in is based on 95% of the accounts being real. Well, if it's 80%, not 95%, well, then the value goes down 20%, let's say. So this is probably a good way for Elon Musk to save $7-8 billion, let's say. So will he buy it for $44 billion, or will he, sort of put it in court and then say, well, the real number is $36 billion. So that's because I do think Elon Musk wants Twitter because he sees the potential. And I think Elon Musk is, this guy who says like, we're not here to make money. I don't know why Elon Musk would want to make money. That's a crazy thought for someone to make money. But he kind of does show that Twitter is valuable in a certain way because Twitter controls sort of the tempo
the
of
discourse, I guess. Yeah, it's
right, and that's powerful, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
By you can make Joe Biden, like you basically made Joe Biden president by censoring the Hunter Biden laptop story and depressing all counter information, like all Republicans, and really making sure that no one saw. Like no one in the center could really see what people on the right were actually saying. And that's like the real damage they do, is the fact that it's not fair. So like, yes, people on the right who follow right-wing politics and in it, like I follow everyone across the political spectrum. I see it all, even if they try and hide it from me, because like I look for it. So I'll always find it. But what you can do is you can keep my point of view away from someone who's, more neutral and just kind of on Twitter to have fun and whatever. And they should be seeing an equal amount of ideology coming through. And like, if a really good lefty dunks real hard on a righty, you'll see that. But the thing is, you should also see it the other way around. And what Twitter's kind of done, they realize there's huge value to making sure that moderates don't see conservatives being successful on the platform, or good conservatism, let's say. So
good news is that part of the good news is that Biden's new Ministry of Truth has hit a major roadblock. Looks like it's on pause. The entire project should be scrapped, or could be scrapped, and Nina Jankowicz, who's this absolute nut job, sent back to whatever that she was doing before. Daniel, thank you so much for coming on the show. How do people access your content?
I'm under, my name, Daniel Boardman, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Also, I write for the National Telegraph, thenationaltelegraph.com, or Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Pretty easy to search. If it has my name and my face, that's me. So thanks for having me on.
Daniel Boardman, National Telegraph. All right. Got to take a brief break. Going to be back with more after this. Don't go away.